The biggest party of the summer, SummerSlam 2025, is just around the corner, with 2 days packed full of matches. So I'm Reese from the Wrestling Hideout, and let's waste no time. Here are my predictions for this weekend's SummerSlam. We'll start with Tiffany Stratton versus Jade Cargill. This match is for the WWE Women's Championship, and I think we'll see WWE crown Jade as the champion here, on one of their biggest shows of the year. Now, I don't think this is the right option. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of Jade. I think Tiffany is much better in the ring, but I can't help but feel we're going to end up with Jade versus Naomi, champ versus champ at Survivor Series. And if we're going to go that route, what better time to crown Jade than now? It's the third biggest show of the year? Now just feels right. And it's kind of a sink or swim for Jade Cargill. Maybe she'll absolutely smash it. We can certainly hope. Next up, we have Randy Orton and Jelly Roll versus Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul. Honestly, this feels like a really simple prediction. They're going to want to keep the celebrity happy, so Jelly Roll gets the win here. The less said about this match, the better. Up next, we have CM Punk challenging Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship. And I feel like there's two options that happen here. Neither involve Punk winning. We're either going to have Gunther win his first matchup against Punk, and then maybe Punk eventually takes the belt off of him, or we'll see Seth cash in this weekend, screwing Punk over once again. Now, either way, I think if Punk eventually beats Gunther, you'll see Seth cash in on Punk immediately, screwing him out the title, and we're back in the same situation. But I think going down the road, Punk and Rollins in the title picture, I think that's where we're going with all of this. So I'm going to take a risk and say Gunther for the win here, but I wouldn't be surprised at all if Seth leaves the belt. Next we have the Judgment Day versus Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. This feels like a really tight match to predict. I can really see this going either way, honestly. You've got Roxanne and Raquel as the Judgment Day, Roxanne stepping in for Liv, who's injured, and then on the other side you've got Charlotte and Alexa, who have so much just fan support behind them. I'm going to go Roxanne and Raquel just to tie into the storylines of Roxanne replacing Liv, and the whole, Charlotte and Alexa aren't fully on the same page just yet, but I do think this new team of Charlotte and Alexa will be the ones to dethrone the champs. I'm just taking a gamble on it not being at SummerSlam. Next, we have Sami Zayn versus Karrion Kross with one of the weirdest stipulations I have ever seen before. If Kross wins, Sami Zayn has to say the words, "Kross was right," and if Sami Zayn wins, Kross has to say the words, "I was wrong." Yeah. I'm going to be taking Sami Zayn for this one. WWE seems really hesitant to push Karrion Kross, and I think this will be another example. I could see Sami overcoming Kross and then just sort of floating below that main event scene, much like usual. And Kross, unfortunately, I don't really know what you do with him if he loses this. I just don't see WWE pulling the trigger on Kross, sadly, and giving him the win here. And finally, for night one, we have Roman Reigns and Jey Uso taking on Bronson Reed and Bron Breakker with Paul Heyman in their corner. And for this, I'm taking Roman and Jey. I think without Seth around, you can have Bron and Reed take a loss here, and I don't see Roman coming back after losing at WrestleMania and taking another loss. I also feel like somewhere in here we'll eventually get the Usos back together, and then we'll see Roman Reigns and the Usos taking on the trio of Seth, Bronson Reed, and Bron Breakker. So I think the catalyst to this is going to be Roman and Jey picking up the win. Moving on to night two, we'll start with what I think could be the best match of the entire weekend alongside Punk and Gunther, and the TLC match, and that is Dominik Mysterio defending the Intercontinental title against AJ Styles. Now, AJ really doesn't need the title, and I think Dom can play up to the character and cheat his way to a victory. I think beating a credible opponent such as AJ Styles will be a huge boost for Dom as a champion, and considering the whole Triple A acquisition and Dom appearing down there, I think Dom going to Triple A with the Intercontinental title, showing the title off, being a pretty prevalent character on the show, it seems like. I think everything here just points to Dom getting the win, getting boosted, and honestly, I think that's the right shout. I do think Dom could be a huge main eventer in the future. I think this is kind of the stepping stone he's going to need. And we just mentioned this match, but I'm going to say it now for the predictions. It is the TLC match for the WWE Tag Team Championships. This match is going to be absolute chaos, and I can't wait, because we have the Wyatt Six defending against Andrade and Rey Fenix, DIY, Fraxium, the Motor City Machine Guns, and the Street Profits. Now, in my heart, I really want the Motor City Machine Guns to take the belts back. I love the Motor City Machine Guns, probably my favourite tag team, at least of the last 10 years. Definitely up there on my, favourite tag teams of all time. But I really think the Wyatt Six are walking in and out with the belts. The way the Wyatts have been built up over the last few weeks as dominant should continue here, and when they finally get beaten, maybe by a team such as Fraxium, then it should be in a regular, 2 versus 2 match to really put the challengers over when the time comes. I think having the Wyatt Six being so dominant and then losing in a multi-man match, sure, it does protect them, but the rub doesn't really mean as much, if that makes sense. United States Championship time now in a steel cage that will see Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu clashing, and probably a bunch of interference from both sides' respective sort of groups. I'm taking Solo for the win here, with the hopes that this will cause Jacob Fatu to be pushed right up the card. Solo's actually been a pretty good United States champion, so I think we keep that rolling, and push Jacob to the moon. I don't really know where he fits into the main picture, but the dude's incredible and he really does deserve to be there, so I'm hoping this will be the catalyst. And then we have a no disqualification, no count out last chance match for the Women's Intercontinental Championship between Becky Lynch and Lyra Valkyria. Now, if Lyra loses this match, she cannot challenge for the title for as long as Lynch is champion, and I think Lynch is retaining here. It's a no DQ match. I think shenanigans are going to happen, and I think we're going to see maybe Becky screw Lyra, or an accidental thing happen here, but I think heel Becky will continue her reign as champ, and I think we'll either see a Bayley or Lyra heel turn. And I do kind of worry what will happen to Lyra once she can't challenge for the women's IC title, because I can't see them pushing her into the main event picture alongside people like Rhea and Io, Bianca Belair, Naomi. It just kind of feels like there's a gap there currently. So I think maybe turn Lyra heel, see what happens there. I just don't see her winning this. Triple threat time for the Women's World Championship as Naomi defends against Rhea Ripley and Io Sky, and this seems like one of the easiest matches on the entire weekend to predict. Naomi's just won the belt, she is not losing it. I'm sure it'll be a sneaky, heel stealing victory, but if Rhea or Io end the night as champion, I will be shocked. And then finally, we have Cody Rhodes versus John Cena in a street fight for the undisputed WWE Championship. I really hope we see sort of peak Cena 0506, Judgment Day bloodbath style brawl here. And I really don't know who I see winning this. Cena keeping the belt wouldn't surprise me and taking it all the way to the end of his run, but taking off of him also wouldn't surprise me since this whole run has kind of felt a bit flat in places. I'm honestly really feeling a WrestleMania Bret Austin double turn here, with Cena becoming the face with just 5 months left before he's gone for good, and Cody finally getting to revamp his character, which I think would be a really huge refreshing change for the main event scene. I also think Cena ending as a face, you could put him up against someone like Gunther or, a high tier wrestler who beats him in his retirement match and gets a huge boost because of it. So I'm taking Cody to win this one. So to recap, I am going for Jade Cargill, Randy Orton and Jelly Roll, Gunther, The Judgment Day, Sami Zayn, Roman Reigns and Jey Uso, Dominik and Mysterio, The Wyatt Six, Solo Sikoa, Becky Lynch, Naomi and Cody Rhodes to pick up victories this weekend. What do you guys think about these predictions? As always, let us know below and tell us what your predictions are. Let's see who can get the highest amount right between all of us, and let me know what matches you are most looking forward to. As always guys, please drop the video a like, it helps us amazingly, and subscribe to the Wrestling Hideout for all your wrestling needs, whether it is fantasy bookings, predictions, reactions, lists, reviews, you name it, we probably have it somewhere. And hopefully we will see you in the next one. Bye guys.